Today I am meeting with John Fitzgerald from the Mere District Link Scheme. And just to kick off, one of the wonderful things about the Mere Literary Festival is its strongest and most enduring relationship, I believe, has been with the Mere Link Scheme. Firstly, can you just tell us exactly what is the Mere District Link Scheme and why is it important to our local community?
Yes, certainly. Well, we are a local charity. We're all volunteers, and the basic idea behind the Link Scheme is we provide transport for people who have no other means of getting to things like medical appointments, which is the main business that we do. We have been set up for around about 25 years, and indeed our link to the Literary Festival was there at the beginning because Adrian Howell, who helped set up the Link Scheme, also set up the Literary Festival, ran it for over 20 years and has provided a great amount of funding for the Link Scheme, which has been absolutely brilliant over that period.
She's certainly somebody who has been a powerhouse in working within our community, hasn't she?
Most definitely, yes. A staggering lady. Very sadly, she died recently. She would be deeply missed, but she was a great mover within the community on a number of things, but primarily, as far as we're concerned, the Literary Festival, and that's a great source of funding for us.
Is it becoming more essential, projects like the Mere Link Scheme, as public transport seems to increasingly disappear from rural areas?
Yeah, I think we've always had a key role to play because public transport in rural areas is always a little bit intermittent, and that's inevitable. And if you think of where Mere is and the surrounding villages are located, we're all roughly about 25 miles from the nearest major hospitals like Salisbury and Yeovil, and get people who want to go to appointments at those hospitals, or indeed more locally. People want to get to appointments at the local doctors and dentists. If you can't drive there and you can't walk there, it's very difficult to get there by public transport. It's expensive if you have to get a taxi each time. We're very happy to take people there for a donation of however much they can afford.
And how do people locally make a booking then? How do they contact you, and how does that system?
Yeah, they ring us up. We have a Link phone number, which is 01747 860096, and we ask that you ring that number between 9 and 5 on a weekday, because the number is actually moved into our coordinators' homes. We have a team of 6 coordinators, and the ladies take our books and actually run as the link of the Link Scheme to the outside world for a week at a time. So they have the phone transferred to their home for a week at a time. And so if you ring that number, you will come through on their personal phones. So it is much better for them and for us if you could ring between 9 and 5. And we ask you to give us, if you can do, 48 hours notice of any appointment that you want covered. We're not an emergency response service, and indeed, as some people have asked, no, we're not a taxi service either. Our volunteers will very happily give up their own time and use their own cars to take you to medical appointments, but we don't sit around waiting for phone calls to come in. We make no commitment as a driver to the Link Scheme until we get a phone call from the coordinator, and we say, yes, we will do a job. So I'm going to take somebody to, let's say, Salisbury Hospital for an appointment at midday. I will pick them up at a time, 11 o'clock probably, an hour before, so that we give ourselves a good time to get to that appointment on time. And of course, our commitment is also to bring you home from that appointment as well. We won't just leave you there, and we will wait for you. Even if your appointment is extended, we will sit and wait, and we will then bring you home after your appointment.
So there's a guarantee people don't feel they're literally being dropped in the middle of nowhere. You've not got this problem increasingly with local transport where there's only a window of an hour or so when you actually reach Salisbury or wherever you're heading and find you haven't got the time. This way you're looked after literally from door to door.
Indeed, and we will take you to a local appointment at the Mere Surgery or Silton Surgery or Mere Dentist. We'll take you to local opticians. But we'll also take you further afield to various hospitals, and we know quite a few people in the area are having cancer treatments at the RUH in Bath or at Southampton Hospital, and some of those appointments are really ungodly hours of the morning, so you can be having to leave Mere at 6 a.m, 6:30. We will take you if we have a driver available and willing to do that particular drive.
And this is all through volunteers?
Absolutely. None of us are paid for any of the time that we give. Our drivers are paid 45p a mile because they use their own car, they supply their own petrol, diesel, electric for myself, but they basically are taking you in their own vehicle. They're ensuring that the vehicle is properly taxed and insured and properly serviced and MOT'd. And obviously, if you're putting more mileage on a car, there is more expenditure involved in things like tyres that wear out more quickly. So, yeah, we pay them 45p a mile, but they give up all of their time for nothing.
And this could be your neighbour, your friend. These are people within our own community who are giving their own time.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, it is exactly that case. I've taken people who are my neighbours. I know lots of our drivers have done the same, but equally, yesterday I took somebody to Salisbury Hospital who I'd never met before. Had as ever, an interesting conversation on the way down there and on the way back. And we do the job as volunteers because we enjoy doing it, we like driving, but equally we like meeting people, and we have met some really interesting people over the years, and we have really nice conversations, and it is a fun thing to do.
I've got a few technical questions, which I wanted to ask you. So, within the Mere Link scheme, Mere and District Link scheme itself, how many trips are done on average in a year?
It does vary from year to year, but over the last 3 years, we've averaged around about 118 trips a month. So, in terms of the number of full trips we've done, over the 3-year period, it was probably just 1250 trips a year. Last year was our biggest ever. We did 1,420 trips in 2025.
Can you calculate how many miles that was?
Oh yes, yeah. Because we're paying drivers, we record the mileage, and we know precisely that our drivers did 57,173 miles in 2025.
In a comparatively small area as well, so that shows the need, doesn't it? It shows there's a real need.
Absolutely, it's in a comparatively small area, but a lot of our trips, because of our location, are quite long trips. So going down to Southampton. If somebody has a course of treatment at Southampton, we've had people who've had to go to Southampton 15 working days in a row, and we've done it. We've taken them down every day and taken them back, but of course that really does put the mileage up.
So, are you at capacity for the number of drivers you have? And it's not just the drivers, as you pointed out. There's the infrastructure behind it. There's those who are taking the calls. Are you continuously recruiting? Are you calling out for those who may not be aware that there is a need for volunteers? And what sort of individual would you be looking for?
Yeah, well, we are continually recruiting for drivers because inevitably most of our drivers are retired. A large number of them are over 70, indeed some of them are over 79. And once our drivers get to 79 and over, we ask them to take a driving assessment just to give them confidence and give us confidence that their driving ability is still reasonable. And they take that assessment every 3 years after they've reached the age of 79. And all of our drivers are DBS checked to make sure the safeguarding issues are covered. Because we're taking vulnerable people and we're alone in a car with them, and it's important that the people we're taking have confidence and that we have confidence in our drivers, and they're going to carry people in an appropriate way.
And this is done through the advice of the local authority and all the rest of it, is it? I mean, these are bona fide.
Yeah, absolutely. The DBS checks we do are the same as the DBS checks you do for any employment. although we don't pay for our staff, they are regarded as employees, and they have to go through the same checks that anybody else does. And the checks for a link driver are the enhanced DBS checks, so it's the highest level of DBS check that you can do.
So let's just look at the issue of how the scheme is more broadly funded. We've talked about volunteers and those who can, and a call out to volunteers to support the project. In terms of the funding then, what funding streams do you receive regularly, and what other funding schemes are available? For instance, are they supported at local level through town and parish council, county council? How does that operate?
Yeah. Well, our largest source of funding is the donations that our passengers give us after each trip. As I said earlier, we don't have a charge, but we do ask that you give a donation of how much you can afford. And many of our passengers are very generous, and many, where they can do, will gift aid their payments, which is a great aid to us. So we get roughly £2,000 a year through gift aid, so that helps us considerably. Local surgeries, Silton Surgery and Mere Surgery, we do a weekly medicine run, which delivers prescriptions to people living outside of Mere for those two surgeries, and they give us a donation to cover the costs of those. And a number of local parish councils give us donations, some on an annual basis, some a little less frequently, but we do get regular donations from the parish councils. And the other key donations that we get, we have little cash collection boxes around various places in towns. The Bradley Pantry, for instance, has got one in Maiden Bradley. I think the Co-op has got one in Mere, and the petrol station in Zeals has got one, and they bring in a regular source of income. But of course we also have other major donators, and the biggest donation we get out of all of the other donations comes from the Mere Literary Festival, which is an annual donation for us, we are very generous for all the money that you're able to raise and you're able to give to us.
John, let me ask you this. You are, I wasn't going to say a secret fan, but you've been a bit of a fan of the festival over the years.
Yes, absolutely. We actually moved to Mere in 2011, and we moved in the week of the Literary Festival. Avid attendees at the Literary Festival ever since. And it's cost me a small fortune in buying books, and it's taken me almost 3 months each year to read all the books that we buy at the Literary Festival, and I keep going to events saying this is going to be interesting, I will not buy the book, and of course I do. And it really has become a key part of our life, and we attend the Literary Festival not just because it supports the Link scheme, but because we enjoy it, the variety of the speakers that you get, absolutely fascinating stuff. I mean, the first event we went to was about a biography about Boris Johnson, and it was an amazing story to hear, and we bought the book and we thoroughly enjoyed reading it, and it didn't influence the way we vote, and we really had a good time at the festival, and we've enjoyed it ever since.
So this year, for the Mere Literary Festival, it's been designated as the National Year of Reading. What other disciplines would you like to see from the festival? What do you think, when I say disciplines, I mean whether it's fiction or a biography you've mentioned, what other areas would you like to find a festival delivering? What sort of stories would you like to hear?
We've found that over the years, the Literary Festival has got such a breadth of content. It's been great. I mean, over the years there's been poetry competitions, writing competitions, a whole range of books from fiction, non-fiction, biographies and whatever. I actually think that the festival covers a great and an excellent range. It gives you a massive selection of things to choose from, and the level of choice is so good that not being an expert in the area of reading and whatever, other than I really enjoy it. I don't think I'm qualified to suggest other areas, but I do think what has been done so far, and what I'm hoping you will be able to continue to do, is to cover that wide range and to bring in the community spirit, to bring in the groups around town who are able to help in some way and to get benefit from the festival itself. And we really appreciate the way that the last festival was able to generate income and give it to not just the Link Scheme but to other charities around there.
John, really thank you so much. It's a privilege for all of us working on the festival to know that we are working and our time and efforts go towards supporting such a charity that really does underpin our very community. So thank you to you, and please would you pass on to your team our respect and thanks for the incredible work you do with your army of volunteers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and thank you for all the support over the years, and we hope it will continue.